The build-up to the reverse grid race for F1 Academy at Singapore, so an exciting and entertaining session. And the first ever F1 Academy race for Lisa Billard. As the lights went out, there was a battle into turn one for pole for Leah Bloch. But there was an unfortunate incident for Chloe Chambers getting a little bit out, but Alicia Palmowski was the one that crashed out and was out of the race completely. Ultimately, Leah Bloch went on from taking pole position to take her first ever F1 Academy win. This sixth round of 7 international events in F1 Academy 2025 brings the talented young female racers to the challenging Marina Bay Street Circuit in Singapore. Welcome from me, Ben Edwards, as we prepare for the second race of the weekend and an outside chance to see a champion crowned as they deal with this 3-mile, 5-kilometre, 19-turn layout that has been part of motor racing now for some 17 years. Alongside me is a former champion from both top-level German touring cars, winning the DTM twice with Mercedes, as well as winning key junior single-seater championships in the UK, which built his long career, Gary Paffett. Gary, we could see Doriane Pain, the 21-year-old French racer, take the title today, but her main rival, Maya Verg, is one place ahead of her on pole position, and she's determined to keep it going into Las Vegas.
Yeah, it was a really great race yesterday, and the way we saw them both coming from the fourth row of the grid, Maya Verg actually ended up finishing second in that race, and Doriane Pain struggling to make her way through the field, but it certainly is game on. There's all to fight for, and as you say, if it does go her way, Doriane could come away with the championship today.
The Campos team have done a lot of work for Alicia Palmowski. I gather they only had 2 hours sleep because she had a crash against the barrier. They had to change engine, gearbox, the bell housing, chassis change as well. She starts from the back, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. She had an accident in qualifying where she ran wide in turn 5 early on, so she started last on the grid yesterday, had an incredible drive through the field, setting fastest laps, and actually got up to P9, a 1 position away from the points, until she had that accident, which did a lot of damage. So we'll be starting at the back again today.
Well, let's have a look at that grid, and as we said, Alicia Palmowski starting at the back with Nicole Havreda alongside, and she also went off early on in that race. Courtney Crone is on the next row in 16th place, and Megan Bruce getting her first ever weekend in F1 Academy, the British racer. Rafaela Ferreira starting from 14th place, and Tina Hausmann a bit further down than normal. She's down in 13th. It's her birthday today. Let's see if she moves up. Joanne Chiconte in 12th place, and Nina Gaidman, another one who could well move up. She's starting in 11th place. Chloe Chong, another British racer, she's starting in 10th, ahead of Alba Larsen from Denmark, who has put in some good performances. Leah Bloch, who won yesterday from the reverse grid, she starts 8th now. Aurelia Nobles, she finished her best ever 4th yesterday. Elba Felbermeyer is 6th on the grid, and Lisa Billard, who is a wildcard entry, doing a great job, starts 5th. Ella Lloyd starting in 4th place with Chloe Chambers in 3rd, but then we get to the front row, and it is the battle for the championship. Doriane Pain versus Maya Verg, and Maya Verg it is on pole position to see whether she can get another victory, which she did from pole position in Zandvoort a month ago, the last event in F1 Academy, and it worked very well. But the gap between them, Gary, was 0.042 of a second, so there's nothing really to choose between them in terms of pace around here.
No, there's absolutely nothing to choose between them, and significantly, that pole position gives Maya Verg 2 more points for that championship battle, so that tiny gap in lap time can make a big difference when it comes down to counting the numbers up at the end of the championship. And the top 4 on the grid are the top 4 in the championship, and the 4 that are still in contention for winning the championship. The other one is Alicia Palmowski, but obviously starting last on the grid, the chance of her actually getting enough points today to keep that going to the next round is unlikely.
Absolutely. So we're getting ready for the formation lap. It's going to be a battle all the way through, but of course those top 2, Maya Verg and Doriane Pain, on that front row. And if you want to know more about them, then you can check out Weekend Wrapped, which goes out on social media later this week and on F1 TV. And they did an interview with both Doriane and Maya Verg, and they were both said they were in very relaxed form. Well, let's see. I bet they're not so relaxed now. We're getting ready for this key race, which may well take the championship today, or it may well take it down to Las Vegas in November. And down at the back, we've got some cars to keep an eye on, particularly Alicia Palmowski, as I said. She went from the back up to 9th yesterday, so she made good progress before she had her crash. And it was an unfortunate crash, just hitting a little bit of a bump, which punched her out, so we'll see what happens. You're on board right now with Chloe Chambers, backed up by Red Bull Ford and the Campos team, and she starts in 3rd position. But it is Maya Berg who is on pole position, and we will see how it goes for Maya Berg, the 21-year-old Dutch racer. Let's hear from her as she gets ready to start from pole.
Just have a good start. For sure it's going to be easier to be at the front. With the heat it's tricky to follow, as we saw last year was tricky to overtake. So yeah, just focus on keeping my tires in the right window and push for those fastest lap as well, because we need every single point.
Every single point, it does count. But as you said, getting the points for pole position has already helped her a bit this weekend. She didn't get the win yesterday, but she'd get to 2nd place from 8th with the reverse grid. Now, just looking up, it's always an amazing view here at Singapore, but we've got a lot of cloud. There is a possibility we might get some rain.
Yeah, exactly. Early in the week there was some rain, as we see quite a lot here in Singapore, with the humidity now getting up to 67%, which is a lot higher than it was yesterday. The air temperature up at 30 degrees, but there are some thunderstorms in the area today, unlike yesterday. So we could see some rain coming in. The difficulty with this type of weather, it's so unpredictable, and it can just build above you, basically. You can't necessarily see the rain coming in, so they're going to have to be on their toes if they start to see some drops of rain on their visors as they're racing.
Absolutely, and yeah, I'm just wondering, are there any drops of rain around down in the pits? And of course, it might be one area where in the pits they can say, "Oh, we're getting a drop of rain," but it may be somewhere else, but where it starts initially. So yes, you're absolutely right. They have to be cautious here.
As you can see, the screens there, so all the teams will be watching on their computer screens there, the radar, the weather radar, to see if the rain's coming in, and they'll be informing the drivers kind of which direction the rain's coming from, which corners it's likely to hit first. And as you say, because it can be so localized, then it could be one part of the circuit is getting wet and the other part is dry, and then the choice is then, do we come in and change tyres because of this weather? Do we stay out? It's there's a lot to think about, so it's not going to be an easy race to read.
A really interesting grid as well in this today, because you've got the 5 teams that are supplying for these races, all 5 on the first 5 places. You've got Maya Berg with MP, you've got Dorian Pant with the Prema team, which is on its way to win the team's championship this year. Chloe Chambers with Campos, she's 3rd. Ella Lloyd with Rodin is 4th. And then you've got Lisa Billard for Hi-Tech, and that's the best qualifying they've had so far this season. She's the 16-year-old French racer who has come into F1 Academy. She's won the female trophy title in French Formula 4 this year. She's done a lot of karting in the background. We will keep an eye on. They had to have an engine change. She had a problem in the race yesterday. We'll keep an eye on that. Right, we're ready to go for racing here in Singapore. Lights out, F1 Academy's underway again, race 2, and it's a good start from Dorian Pant on the inside. Maya Berg on pole position though is already trying to shut the door into turn 1. Dorian Pant breaks late, does she run wide? She stays on the curb, she's done it perfectly. That was brilliant. Dorian Pant leading, Chloe Chambers and Ella Lloyd, they are battling for 3rd place.
Yeah, what an incredible start. Maya Berg didn't get off the line terribly well, and Dorian Pant really aggressive on the inside. As we see Chloe Chambers just on the inside of Ella Lloyd coming through turn 5. They're going to go wheel to wheel up the straight around turn 6 up towards the braking area of turn 6, and as you see Felbermeyer now on the inside of Chloe Chambers. We saw Chloe Chambers super aggressive in the race yesterday, but she's going to lose the place.
This could almost be three-way battle, but Ella Lloyd's the one who's got there in 3rd place. Ella Lloyd into 3rd place. She had a penalty yesterday which dropped her back down the order a bit. Aurelia Nobel's trying to come through. Leah Bloch, the winner yesterday, hasn't had the best opening lap. She's trying to make it, and there you just see the Williams colours, number 57, Leah Bloch, the one who won yesterday, but she was on pole on reverse grid. Look at the top 2 championship contenders are getting away. Dorian Pant, the championship leader, is ahead of Maya Berg. Now, if it finished like this, she still wouldn't win the title today, but of course she would be in a very good position going into Las Vegas.
Yeah, she would be. As a 15-point gap at the moment, that would extend out to 22 points, which would give her a great opportunity to clinch the championship there. As we see a few, Albert Larsen, I think it was, going down the inside. A great move down the inside of turn 13. 13 there as Maya Berg just locks the front wheel. The tyre's not quite up to temperature yet, and just locking the front wheel as she tries to stay in contact with Dorian Pan, who's had an incredible start to this race.
That was a brilliant start by Dorian Pan, and so well calculated not to run too wide, because we saw quite a lot of drivers go over the curbs yesterday and run wide. There's Ella Lloyd in third, under attack from Chloe Chambers. Now there, number 60, a bright orange colouring of the Gatorade backing for Lisa Billard, and she is the wildcard entry who's doing a good job so far. Can she get the best wildcard finish we've seen so far this year? We did see some points last time out from the wildcard entry, but she's doing a good job so far.
She's doing a great job. As you saw, Leah Block, the winner from yesterday, behind her. As you see on the inside of the straight there, Alicia Palmoscu just coming through.
That's pretty tricky because Nina Gateman trying to come through, and Nina Gateman's got past Leah Block.
Yeah, she has. Leah did a great job from the front yesterday, led the race all the way with the start and the 2 safety car restarts, but here on the first couple of laps she's just lost a couple of places, now falling back to she's P9 now, behind Nina Gateman.
Absolutely, so we're going to have to just wait and see how this all pans out. We've got plenty of time to go. We're on lap 2 out of 14. So as I mentioned, Lisa Billard, she is currently in 7th place, which is actually the same place that we saw Esme Kosterman finish in, or as a wildcard entry last time out in Zandvoort. Whether she can do even better than that, we shall wait and see. But let's take a look at the start of that race once again, and how the battle went between Dorian Pan and Maya Berg.
Yeah, so Maya Berg just didn't get off the line quite as well as Dorian Pan. Dorian Pan just got alongside. And yeah, as we saw her coming down to 2 and 1, super aggressive on the brakes to get ahead. But as you say, importantly, staying on track, they all managed to stay within the white lines, within the curb. A little bit of a lock-up, but managed to hold that position. As we saw Chloe Chambers on the outside, 2 cars further down, just running wide, just avoiding action. They were on board. Look at that, the launch off the line was just enough to get her alongside Maya Berg. And Maya Berg couldn't come over enough to cover the place. A bit of a lock-up, but yeah, controlled, stayed on the track, and yeah, got herself in the lead of this race.
Yeah, that was beautifully done by Dorian Pan. As you say, there were a couple towards the back. I think Chloe Chong was one of them who went a bit wide. This is Chloe Chambers, who started in 3rd place.
Yeah, not a great launch off the line there, and we're going to see Ella Lloyd coming down the inside here, getting just her nose ahead, actually, going into turn 1. Again, all the cars staying on track, very neat and tidy there, but obviously ultimately losing that place to Ella Lloyd, and they remain in P3 for Ella Lloyd and P4 for Chloe Chambers as we continue this race. She was on the inside here going down to turn 5.
We're looking at what happened, but I've just seen there's been a problem for Leah Block. I'm not sure quite what's happened yet, but Leah Block has just dropped down the order. This is what's happened to Leah Block. Let's see what's happened to her. Oh, she got it wrong.
Oh, she's just locked the front wheel there, I think, down to turn 14. Yeah, and didn't choose to take to the escape road, but didn't quite make the corner, so she will have got going, but she is now back down the field in P18. Yeah, really unfortunate for yesterday's winner.
Yeah, that is a shame, but she's just going to have to remember yesterday, because she did a fantastic job that time. So it is Dorian Pan, who's just set fastest lap and leads this race with a 1.2 second advantage over Maya Berg. You're on board with Alicia Palmosky, who started at the back, and she's already now up into 12th place, and she is now battling Joanne Chiconte, who started down a little further up. She actually started in 12th, Chiconte, whereas Palmosky has good pace, but now you're riding on board. Where's she going to find the next place to really go for it?
Yeah, there's a few straights here that she can get, so she needs to look at the exit of kind of turn 13 after this tight section here to see if she can get close. She's right on the back of Chiconte here, and she's going to go to the inside of turn 13. Really opportunistic move there by Alicia.
Does she have the acceleration on the way out?
She doesn't have the drive out of the corner, and it's a case of who's willing to brake the latest down towards turn 14. She's on the outside of the corner. If she brakes and checks up, she could switch back, which she's going to try and do. Just lost the rear on the way in. But again, she's got another opportunity here down towards turn 16. And let's see if she's brave enough to have a go down to the chicane into turn 16.
Meanwhile, we're watching Lisa Villard under pressure from Nina Gateman, and this is another close battle. That is for 7th position, and then a little bit further back you've got some more good battles going on as well. Palmowski, as we say, trying to gain some more places. Alicia Palmowski trying to find her way past Joanne Chiconte. So just in the background, that's particularly the area to keep an eye on. In between them as well.
As she goes here, Alicia down the inside into turn 1. A nice move there, and that moves her up to...
Oh, she's gone wide though.
Yep.
She's going to have to give that place back. Oh, she's nearly lost it, and she's lost not
3
just
places.
she's lost a whole bunch. Oh, Alicia's having a tough weekend because she is a very talented driver. She's had a win, she's had 4 podiums, she's 5th overall in the championship. But this weekend, it just feels like she's been pushing a little too hard.
Yeah, I mean, she was in free practice, she was in the top 3, and they were really close together. So she was doing really well, and then in qualifying just pushed a little bit too hard in turn 5, which obviously damaged the car, and she ended up qualifying, starting at the back of both races, which has made it really hard for her this weekend.
Just see Megan Bruce there, just up ahead of her now, and Megan Bruce in her first ever weekend in F1 Academy. And let's just have another little look at what happened to Alicia Palmowski there, because she was on a charge to come through everybody, but right now we'll just keep an eye, because she may be able to get past Megan Bruce. She's going to be trying to take some more passes here, but she has dropped back down to 14th place, so it's just going to get tougher and tougher. Megan Bruce, as I mentioned, she is she's down the inside. That's becoming one of her favourite places, but as you can see on exit, it doesn't always work.
No, it doesn't work, so she compromises her exit quite a lot by taking that move. And as she tries to get a run now down to turn 14, just looking to the outside, she can try to come back on the inside to give her the inside line for turn 16. That's well done, and that should be job done there, overtaking Megan Bruce for P13 now. So trying to work her way back up to where she was before that moment that she had at turn 1.
Megan Bruce in for Eva Anagnostiadis, who couldn't race this weekend with a foot injury. So it's an opportunity for her to get used to it. Now let's have a look at what happened to Alicia Palmowski when she got this wrong.
So she got a great run down to turn 1, late on the brakes, but just misjudged. Got an oversteer in the middle of turn 1. Had to go around that bollard that you have to go to, and just on the runoff on the outside of the circuit, lost the rear of the car again. And I mean, this would have put a lot of temperature into the rear tyres, which meant the grip would have been less. And as she tried to get back on track at turn 3, she just lost the rear of the car and lost another 2 places by doing that. So a costly mistake there, trying to make up 1 and lost 3. So she's got a lot of work to do to get back to a point scoring finish, which will be her aim today.
Well, part of the experience you have to learn at this level, though, isn't it? When you go off the track and you're off the extra bits, you're not going to have the grip that you have on track, so you've got to be a bit more cautious on the throttle. Meanwhile, as you can see, Megan Bruce is the one I was mentioned, the British driver, the 18-year-old who did the recent testing for F1 Academy. Possibly she may be into it next year. Let's listen to Dorian.
Some drops are reported between T9 and T14. Some drops reported T9 to T14.
So watch out for the rain, and this could, of course, make a big difference. Let's keep an eye on that. Dorian Pant currently leading by 1.5 seconds from Maya Berg.
Yeah, she is, and they've been swapping fastest lap, which importantly gives them a point. So if that rain's going to come, that fastest lap won't be beaten for the rest of the race. So she's now got that fastest lap, so that's an extra point for Dorian Pant. As we see, the thing is, turn 9 to 14 is the part furthest away from the pits, so the crews can only go on what's been reported by other drivers, and maybe they've got spotters out looking at that part of the track. We can't see anything on the TV at the moment, but as the drops start to fall, the drivers will see them coming on the visor, and it looks like it's raining a long time before you actually start to feel the lack of grip in the car.
Okay, well, at the moment, Ella Lloyd is under pressure. You can see here, number 20, that is Ella Lloyd, the British racer, backed by McLaren, driving for the Rodin team. But it is Chloe Chambers who is right behind her and is going to have a little look into turn 1, but Lloyd just defending, that's fair, what she's done so far. And for Chambers, there wasn't a way through there. But Chloe Chambers is a good overtaker. We saw her make some good moves yesterday. She's had 1 win, 6 podiums in the championship. She may well lose the chance to actually win the title by the end of this race, because last weekend in Zandvoort she had a non-start, and that cost her when she was in the battle with Berg and Dorian Pant. But it's been a bit hard for her, but she is still in a good position here to try and get past Lloyd.
Yeah, she's in a really good position, and as you say, yesterday we saw her being very aggressive with her overtakes, really pushing very hard. Just looking at the front two now, so Doriane Pin now has a 1.7 second gap. She's just gradually eking that gap out to Maya Berg, who can't stay with her. They're lapping about 0.4 of a second difference, and Doriane Pin's last fastest lap that she's done is actually now, I think, a new lap record. So she's really pushing very hard, and they've got a lot of speed in that car at the moment, and we'll see how that develops. We're on lap 6 out of 14, and let's see if Maya Berg can close that gap back up as we go on board with Alicia Palmowski trying to make a move on Tina Hausmann as they go into turn 10.
Yeah, so Alicia Palmowski, who made that error, ran wide down at turn 1, lost several places once again, is now trying to come back once more. And let's just see whether she's going to be able to do it here on the exit. This is a possibility, because she had a better line into the corner, because Tina Hausmann was being a little defensive there. You can see you get that a little... and there's a change as well, because the pass by Nina Gateman has been made on Billard, and here we go, Palmowski's got through.
Yeah, Palmowski great into turn 14 there. Tina Hausmann just defended on the inside just to stop her going down the inside, and that compromised her exit. Alicia Palmowski now another position up to P12 now, so making her way towards the points. As we saw on the radio, a comment saying that they expect big showers in the next few laps.
Yeah, well, let's see if that actually happens. It could make life very, very tricky. At the moment, Emma Feldmeyer is running in 5th place. Aurelia Nobels, who did a good job yesterday to finish in 4th, she is currently running in 6th place. As we're just looking at Palmowski in that group once again, still trying to gain some more places. They're down towards the back. We have Nicole Havrida, who went out early yesterday, but thankfully she's kept it together in this race and is putting the laps together, and maybe towards the end she can still find a place or two to gain. Ella Lloyd, we're looking from the back of Ella Lloyd's car in this battle for the final podium finish here. Is it going to be Ella Lloyd, or will it be Chloe Chambers? They are both lapping at very similar times, and there's no doubt that Chloe Chambers is looking for any opportunity. One little mistake when you're on a street track and suddenly it can all change.
Yeah, exactly. The street circuits are so difficult, especially in the temperature that we've got out here at the moment. The cars will be moving around quite a lot on these bumps, on the changes in surface, and one small loss of concentration can be really costly around here. So Chloe Chambers just keeping the pressure on Ella Lloyd. There's two ways of overtaking. You either go for a move down the inside, or you just sit as close as you can and force them into making a mistake, which is what she's having to do at the moment, because she's not quite able to get close enough to make a pass. As we see the teams there just getting the wet tyres ready in case they need to come in. If it does just slightly rain, they'll be able to stay out on the slick tyres as long as they can keep temperature. The moment you get too much water that they're going to start to lose temperature, then you're going to have to come in and change tyres, which means that the teams are going to have to really go to work.
In the meantime, I see that Lisa Billard has also been passed by Alba Larsen now. So Lisa Billard in her what is effectively only her second ever F1 Academy race, and she didn't finish yesterday. They had a problem. They had to change the engine on Lisa Billard's car yesterday. She is now down in 9th, but still a possibility to score points on her wildcard weekend. Fastest laps, as you said, being swapped by Pin and Berg again on this last lap.
Yeah, they're pushing so hard, and their lap times, they're nearly a second quicker than anyone else on the track.
This is
really
good,
incredibly, as we see Chloe Chambers just on the back of Ella Lloyd here through the first 3 corners. She's going to have a good run down towards turn 5. Not normally an overtaking place down here because you don't brake that much, but we'll see. She's just looking to the inside as Ella Lloyd has a bit of a slide, but she doesn't get a great run out of turn 5, so Ella Lloyd should be okay as they head up towards turn 7.
Yeah, this is a great battle going on between two very talented F1 Academy racers, and Chloe Chambers really putting the pressure on Ella Lloyd, who so far is holding her off. They've both had one victory each in the 2025 season. They're both now fighting for a podium here in Singapore, assuming, of course, that Pin and Berg continue to finish 1st and 2nd. It is looking that way because even though they are doing such similar lap times, there is a 2-second gap between Doriane Pin and Maya Berg, and they're both very capable. Berg will be a little frustrated, but it will keep the championship going into the final event in Las Vegas. This battle for 3rd is very, very close, though, and Chloe Chambers hasn't given up yet.
Yeah, as we see on the TV there, we can see the rain falling actually around, as they are around turn 13 now. So this part of the circuit does look like, and you definitely see the rain coming down now on the circuit, and it's a case of how long can they stay out on these tyres with the track getting wetter lap by lap.
We're only just over halfway, aren't we? So we're on lap 8 out of 14. We're back on board with Alicia Palmowski, and it looks as though she's going to have a chance to get past Chloe Chong and around the outside. But Chong has the inside line and can just about hold it off. But this could get her into the top 10 again, Alicia Palmowski, and that's where you start scoring points. So it's well worth it. And they're both coming after Lisa Villard as well, side by side again.
Yeah, side by side. As you see, another fastest lap come up for Dorian Pan, but on the outside into turn 16. A great move by Alicia there. Gets her up into the top 10, so into the point scoring positions. And now she's going to be focusing on catching Lisa Villard. As you say, the track is still fast, so the rain isn't affecting the lap times at the moment, because we're still seeing fastest laps. As we see a really aggressive defence there by the 27 car, by Chloe Chong, who's just lost a place to Alicia Palmowski and loses another place into turn 1.
Yeah, with Joanne Chiconte doing a good job there. Joanne Chiconte nipping past and getting that place. But there's no doubt, as you said, that Palmowski is still on the gain, and she is now beginning to catch Lisa Villard as well. We're back with Chloe Chambers. Still this battle for the final podium spot, and nothing to choose between these two. And I have to say, Ella Lloyd so far, I said, doing a good job. That corner was not so good, was it?
No, a little bit of a slide there. She's lost a bit of momentum. The only good thing is this is the tightest part of the circuit they're heading into now, so not a great chance for Chloe Chambers to actually overtake into what is coming up to turn 10 now, as we get to the part of the circuit that is starting to rain, is starting to get wet up at this part, because the track temperature is still very hot. The track temperature is still up at 45 degrees, as we see the cars.
Moment there for Ella. She only just held that.
Look
at the rain
now. Look at the rain coming down now. So look at the cars sliding around. This rain is really starting to affect the grip level on the circuit, and I have no doubt that they're going to have to be coming in for wet tyres at some point. Although the problem is the rest of the circuit is still perfectly dry.
Yeah, this is going to be very interesting to see how it all goes. I wonder if it might suit Leah Block, even though she's right down at the back with her rally driving experience. But she is quite a long way down at the back at the moment.
Yeah, look at the weather. They're all going to be coming into the pits now to change tyres. So we'll have to see how they've just got to get it back to the pits. And then the teams are going to have to change the tyres, because this is getting too wet to be able to stay out on them slick tyres.
Wow, this is really interesting. Who's going to be first coming into the pits? They're not coming into the pits yet. Well, some of those further back, you see, look, this area is much drier. But Palmowski is being told to stop, and I think that's really sensible. Palmowski in 10th place. You're on board with Alicia Palmowski, and I think they have done a good decision there to try and bring her in. That's the Campos team, of course. She's backed by Red Bull Racing. She's come in. This could be the right move for this race if you've got enough time left.
Yeah, exactly. They're losing 1.2 seconds in the middle sector at least, and 2.5 seconds in the final sector already with this rain. And that's only going to get worse and worse as they lose the temperature from the tyres, and the same in the first sector now. So this is a really...
She tried to stop in the wrong place.
Oh, no. Well, she's not lost too much time there, thankfully. But, the team need to go to work. These aren't F1 cars that are used to changing tyres quickly, so it's not going to take 2 seconds.
Look at this. Chloe Chambers again. But running wide. Thankfully, without hitting the barrier. But Ella Lloyd is quick in the wet. She has very, very good car control. There's no doubt about it. She was a show jumper and a skiing star as well, and she's very happy when the conditions get a bit damp like this. Now, that was a decent stop, but also
Leah Block as well.
That doesn't surprise me that Leah Block's in from the back. That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, exactly. So Alicia and Leah certainly out of position are the first ones to choose to come in for them wet tyres and to see if they can make up the loss that they've had in the pits now. Obviously both right at the back of the grid, but look at this, as we go over the Anderson Bridge, how wet is the circuit getting around this part. And as we say, look at the rain that's bouncing off the circuit now. The temperature in these slick tyres is just going to be falling away from them. They're going to get less and less grip as they continue.
Well, it's going to be interesting, because Palmowski, having made that pit stop, is now 43 seconds behind. That's a long, long way behind the next part of the group that has not yet come in. But, as you say, the difference in lap time when it really gets wet is huge. Let's see what Chambers did. Nearly managed to make a move.
Yeah, on board with Chloe Chambers here, just looking down the inside, but Ella Lloyd blocks that position off, and Chloe just goes a bit wide on the exit, misjudging the amount of grip level she's got there in these slippery conditions. As you see it from outside here, just look to the inside, but Ella had that covered. And yeah, this is a great battle that I think is going to go on and on.
I think that was okay what Lloyd did there. I mean, you've got to be a bit wary sometimes about where you... And then Palmowski came into the pits and actually was trying to pull over a little bit too soon, because this was not her team. Oh, we've just gathered that Havrda has crashed. Nicole Havrda, who crashed out yesterday. Oh my goodness, this is her 5th DNF of the year. She is finding this so difficult. So, yellow flag, and this means, no, not safety car yet.
No safety car yet, so this is still a racing speed pit stop.
Yeah.
But Chloe Chambers in the pits there. I can't see either of the two leaders in the pits. So Chloe Chambers in the pits. We've got Alicia Nobles in the pits, and a few other, Tina Heusman in the pits, and Lisa Billard, I think this is in front of her as well.
But are we going to get a safety car? Because if there is a safety car, and yes, so if they then come in on the safety car, that could be a gain anyway.
Yeah, so the people that haven't pitted will now be able to pit under the safety car, which is going to give them a massive advantage. But we'll see how it all shakes out in a couple of minutes' time.
Yeah, actually, let's just see how this works, because sometimes this does change rules a little bit. So they've picked up some of those from who have already come into the pits, because you're looking there at Chloe Chambers, who's already been into the pits. Tina Hausman trying to get going, stalled it. She's got it running again.
For me, the interesting thing is here how the rules work, because Chloe Chambers is now the first car behind the safety car, and the pit exit light will actually be red when the safety car gets around to a certain point on the circuit.
Yeah.
So these two cars will now be coming into the pits, as well as Ella Lloyd in 3rd place. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they actually end up coming out. At the moment, I really have no idea.
No,
so yeah,
absolutely.
let's wait and see.
This is going to be very, very interesting to see how this does work out. But we've only got a few more laps of this race due to take place, of course. The team's getting ready, the rain falling more and more, and of course, when you have a safety car period and the rain's falling, it just changes it completely.
Yeah. Interestingly, Maya Vogue is really keen to get on with this, and Dorian Pan...
If we put the weight, I don't think we have time to recover the position, so we stay out.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. They feel they don't have the time to stay out because of the time lost on the in this lap. Ella Lloyd has stayed out there as well. Wow, this is going to be so interesting when we get restarted. But how many laps will we get? Because the laps are ticking away. This was Alicia Palmowski as she came into the wrong stop. And of course, just bear in mind, it's not like you're in F1, as you said, where you know...
We're not doing pit stops all the time in these cars, no.
Exactly. And your crew will be chosen as to where they've got to be. But, and that was the crash from Nicole Havrda.
Yeah, as we say, he was getting so difficult out there with the slick tyres in the wet weather. She just lost it under braking and yeah, nosed into the wall there with losing the front wing for the car.
Chloe Chambers apparently had a bit of a slow stop, and it's the front left you can see was, yeah, it was difficult to get that front left wheel off, finally coming off, and that caused a bit of a delay. And of course, tyre changes are not something in F1 Academy that's very common. It's only when you get this complete weather change. But that really was a long delay for Chloe Chambers, so who was looking to potentially get a podium finish today. That looks very unlikely now.
Yeah, it was, as we see Megan Bruce there in the pits just having the tyre change. As we say, pit stops aren't usual in these cars, so they aren't designed to come off and go back on that quickly. As we see the 3 leaders now that have all stayed out on this very wet track. We're on lap 12 out of 14, so there's only going to be a couple of laps left.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. Will they even get 1 lap of actually racing by the time the race gets underway? Because you can see safety car out. I'm not sure they've actually moved Nicole Havrda's car as yet. So the safety car has now picked up the lead group that are still on their slick tyres, whereas we've seen so many others come in. But actually behind, for example, Felbermar, she's not been in. Quite a lot have not been in. Let's just listen in to Dorian.
Box.
Oh.
Too late. I was in the last corner.
She's absolutely right there.
Yeah, it was far too late, that call.
She would have got a penalty, wouldn't she?
Yeah, she would have got a penalty for not coming in when she should have done. And also, yeah, from the team point of view, since the safety car was out, they had quite a lot of time to get that done. So, yeah, definitely a shame. But as we've said, you know, they're on lap 12 or 14. They don't have a lot of laps left of this race.
We are staying
Of
out.
course we stay out.
I think that's Maya's radio, wasn't it? Actually,
No, that was, I think, I don't know who
Dorian,
that was.
yeah, Dorian.
but
we were listening.
But
we were
yeah, I
watching
think
on
Maya
Maya.
Berg was
Yeah.
trying to tempt Dorian to come into the pits
Yes.
there or not. I'm not sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, lap 13 that we go on to now. So there's only going to be one lap left if they get started at the end of this lap.
Exactly. So that's the thing, you know, will the safety car actually be released for the final lap, or will they just be cruising around, in which case staying on the slicks has been the thing to do. And just to let you know, Ella Lloyd is still in third place, Emma Felbermeyer is in fourth, Alba Larsen is in fifth place because she's not come into the pit, so this would be a better result once again. She's had some good results, consistent results in the earlier part of the year. The latter part's been a bit more difficult. Chloe Chambers is the leader, and funnily enough, of those on the wets, which is surprising. Oh no, I think actually Megan Bruce might be
I
ahead.
just went into the pit lane and I crossed over the white and blue line.
Copy, so on TV.
Yeah, as you said there, Maya did come into the pit lane and crossed over that white and blue line, which I don't think you're going to be allowed. So as you see her on the left here, she goes to the left coming to the pits, and then you'll see this line here that she crosses over. I don't think you're allowed to cross that line. Once you commit to coming into the pits, you have to come in. So she could pick up a penalty because of that.
Ooh, well, that's an interesting one. We are going to get one lap of racing. My goodness, this is going to be a huge challenge. So we've got a lap coming up at the end of this to take it to the checkered flag. We've got a bunch of cars on the wet tyres, and Chloe Chambers, yeah, it's still Chloe Chambers, I think.
It's still
even
Chloe
though she had
Chambers.
that very slow stop.
Yeah.
It's surprising that she.
Yeah,
still
I think the safety car was kind of out at that point, so the
Right.
cars were going on track, were going a bit slower. But she's still 27 seconds behind Ferreira here, so she's not she's not bunched up behind the pack. She hasn't been able to close up that gap.
That's a good
under
point.
this safety car, so she's not right on the pack here.
But she's got time on this lap. They potentially could close that gap up a little bit more before we actually get to the restart.
Yeah, but she's only 2 seconds quicker than they're doing at the moment. No, she is closing. No, she is closing, but is she going to get close enough?
So you're looking at that group there, that group that we're looking at, they're all on slicks. It's in the background, some 20 seconds behind, we've got the cars that are on the wet tyres. So are they going to close up? That's the group that's on the slicks, and then we wait. After Ferreira, there's Ferreira at the back of that group. She's in 10th, which in potential is the final point for this race. But then there's the gap to the next bunch with Chloe Chambers leading that next group. She was 13 seconds faster in the middle set there in the
Yes, she is,
background.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
she
will catch the
Okay.
pack. So she's going
Okay.
to catch the pack on probably hot tyres now because she's been working them quite hard on the wet tyres. So let's see in one lap how many positions she can make.
And also, Dorian Pan has now started the pace. So that was just in time, in a way, that Chloe Chambers was able to catch. Let's see how this goes. On to the final lap. Dorian Pan, the championship leader, ahead of her big rival Maya Berg. In the background, though, we've got a car driven by Chloe Chambers on wet tyres, all down the inside, a little move, trying to go down the inside at Alba Larsen on Emma Felbermeyer, but actually it didn't quite work, and thankfully they didn't make contact. And Alba Larsen, who got a penalty yesterday for one of the incidents, she did it sensibly there. Dorian Pan still leading from Maya Berg. Some parts of the track are relatively dry, but they're going to be coming into some wetter parts
Yeah,
soon.
this part, the first part of the circuit is dry, so the people on wets will not be making much gains here. But
oh, look at Maya Berg. Maya Berg attacking her championship battle down the inside. She's having a little look. The spray as well. Remember how wet this part of the track is. Maya Berg, can she do this? Can she get through the corner? She's done it. Maya Berg has taken the lead. Ella Lloyd in third place had a bit of a slide, and in the background you could see some battles, but Dorian Pan's not giving up.
No, Dorian Pan just trying to come back to her now, but that was a great move by Maya Berg in these really difficult conditions in the wet, just able to stop the car there on the inside and take that lead away from Dorian Pan, which is incredibly important for the championship fight.
Chloe Chambers in the background's not making as much progress as I thought. Even now we're into the wet section of the track. We are on the final lap, and Maya Berg is on target to score more points than Dorian Pan and to bring the gap down in the championship battle between them going into that last race in Las Vegas. Dorian Pan, though, is a sensible racer. She'll know that even if she's lost the chance to win this, the main thing is survive, finish on the podium, get points. Ella Lloyd is behind her. She's got to defend from that. She's got to focus on that now. Try not to lose her second place. And under braking, it's still very tricky in these conditions. Emma Felbermeyer, Alba Larsen side by side. Nina Gaidman right behind them. Then it's Chloe Chong. Where is Chambers? Has she dropped back a bit? Yeah, she has dropped back a bit. So we will see how that goes. But Maya Berg is on target to try and take victory.
Yeah, really good move on this last lap, and she's just been in control since she made the back. We see Alba Larsen on the outside of Feldmeyer there, not been able to make it stick. But as Maya Berg comes into the last two corners of this race.
Yeah, this is looking really good for Maya Berg. Maya Berg, who won last time out in Zandvoort, wins in Singapore. Maya Berg has taken the maximum points today for taking the victory. She had the pole position, although Dorian Pan did set the fastest lap. But that is an excellent gain on points for Maya Berg on Dorian Pan, meaning this championship will go all the way to the last two races in Las Vegas in November. Ella Lloyd gets an excellent podium, third place, having defended in the early part of the race very effectively and then surviving in the damp part. Emma Felbermeyer finished in fourth, Alba Larsen in fifth place, Nina Gaidman in sixth, and Chloe Chong in the end in seventh place with one of her better results of this season. Not her best overall, but certainly one of her better ones. That's good for Chloe Chong. Joanne Chiconte in eighth place, ahead of Rafaela Ferreira and Courtney Crone down in 10th place. And actually that's good news for Courtney Crone as well, because Courtney Crone has been unable to score points until today, but she's got that 10th place, so well done to her. Well, Maya Berg taking the victory. Let's listen in.
Yes, Maya, yes. We got it.
I'm sorry, I made it so difficult. Let's go. The fight is on. Wow. Let's go.
She's almost being apologetic, even though she did a great job.
Yeah, I think that first part of the race she definitely struggled. The gap was up to 2 seconds between her and Dorian in the dry conditions, but as soon as it became slippery, she really started to close the gap, and an excellent move on the last lap, which obviously got her the win of this race. Yeah, the one thing we got to think about is obviously that replay we saw of Maya Berg just crossing across the pit entry, which we haven't seen anything on the timing screens about any investigation yet, but that will certainly probably be in the back of her and the team's mind.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking about that. So we will wait to see if anything comes up about that. But certainly across the line, she did the win. And I feel she deserves it. She doesn't deserve, really, a major penalty. But I do know the rules of crossing the lines is sometimes something you will get a penalty for. Ella Lloyd, excellent to get another podium finish for Ella. She's had a good time over the course of the latter part of this season in particular, and she is the top rookie in the season, so she's again scored more points, so I think she's going to be the best scorer of those in their first year.
Yeah, I think we made the right call for sure to stay out, and then that last lap, we just made it worth it. So good job.
Maybe I shouldn't be so scared of the rain.
No, she did a great job in the rain on the slick tyres to make that overtake on Dorian Pan in a wet area. I was really thinking this could go wrong, but she dealt with it well.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that, as you said, the right decision to stay out. The thing that really cost Chloe Chambers and the other drivers that came in to change tyres was there wasn't enough laps. We only had one racing lap, and also at that point of the restart, not the whole circuit was wet. The first part of the circuit was still quite dry, which meant they only had kind of half the circuit really to make the time up, and with so many cars in front of them, as you say, in one lap, it just wasn't enough to actually make their way up to where she was, because obviously Chloe Chambers was fighting for that podium place with Ella Lloyd.
Absolutely. So, a huge battle, and a shake of the head from Maya Berg, but many congratulations to her, because that has brought the championship even closer now to 9 points the gap between Dorian Pan and Maya Berg. And of course, going into Las Vegas, there'll be plenty of points on offer. 25 points for the win in the main race, 10 points for the win in the reverse grid race. So you really have to say that the championship battle between Maya Berg and Dorian Pan is going into those last two races. Ella Lloyd, as I say, in third place. She's actually now gone ahead of Chloe Chambers in the championship, actually. That's very impressive, because Chloe had that difficult time deciding to come in to change tyres and then not being able to make up the time that we thought she would. It does mean that Ella Lloyd has not only taken third place today, but moved up into third in the championship. And she is the one that could well continue next year in F1 Academy, whereas Dorian Pan, Maya Berg, they're on their second years, and you only get 2 years to play in it.
Yes, exactly. And the one thing that today has done is mean there's only 2 of them in mathematical possibility to win the championship now. So Ella Lloyd, third in the championship, 50 points behind, means that she isn't able to score enough points to win this championship. So it's going down to the last weekend between Dorian Pan and Maya Berg, and what a battle it's going to be. 9 points the difference now between them.
In the teams championship, by the way, as well, the Prema Racing are still very much in the lead. They haven't done quite enough to go ahead and take the title here either in Singapore. That will happen in Las Vegas. They have the advantage over MP Motorsport by 49 points. Let's just this was the move. This was the move that Maya Berg made on Dorian Pan.
Yeah, she got great traction out of turn 5 and got alongside around turn 6 and just was super late on the brakes, really committed. And you know, in the slippery conditions, that was a really brave move, and yeah, she thoroughly deserves that win.
She does. And to be fair, watching Dorian Pan, she's always very sensible, and she's never had a non-finish in F1 Academy. And okay, you get beaten by your rival, but you're still there scoring points. And it always feels to me that she's always really, you know, thinking ahead. Yeah,
the same yesterday. Maya Berg was very aggressive coming through to finish second yesterday, whereas Dorian was a bit more calculated and not quite as aggressive.
So let's hear from them talking to Jamie Chadwick.
Maya, another race win, and what a race that was. Super challenging. How was it behind the visor?
I mean, I think I don't know what happened in the start, honestly. I thought I had a decent launch, and then I couldn't see Dorian in the mirror, so I thought she will be there. Somehow I could never see her until I got to the apex. Then after that, yeah, luckily it started raining for me. I was scared when I saw the clouds before the race, but it worked out perfectly for us. And yeah, I felt good. I think the warm-up, I tried to keep the tires warm during the safety car, and I think that helped me in that last safety car restart. So yeah, super happy, because now we can have a good jump into Vegas, and let's try to catch them.
And tell us a bit about the end, when the rain did come. Obviously you stayed out on the slick tires. It looked like a difficult decision to make, knowing whether to box or not. A few drivers did. How did that decision come about, and were you happy you did stay out?
No, I mean, the plan was to stay out anyways. We just wanted to see if they would box, basically. But yeah, they stayed out, which was probably for sure the smart thing to do in these conditions with only 1 lap to go. So yeah, I think the team did the right call, and we will see how it goes in Vegas. But yeah, obviously happy. Could have done more. I think the start was just really bad, but in the end we got it, which is the most important.
And you've reduced the gap in the championship. What's the mindset into Vegas? Full steam ahead?
I mean, I think it's going to be the same mindset as I've had the whole year, especially Zandvoort and here in Singapore. But we brought down the gap from 37 to 8 points in 2 weekends, so I'm sure we can keep that going into Vegas.
Well done, Maya.
Thank you.
Well, great to hear from the race winner. Absolutely superb, and it certainly makes the championship battle going to be pretty tight going into that last one. And Dorian Pan, I wonder how she's feeling. She's been quite relaxed this weekend and in good mode, but it will hurt a little bit to have lost that victory at the end there.
It will, and I think, as you said, she's been calculated and not been taking too much risk. She's been very quick, but when it comes to overtaking, and especially yesterday in that reverse grid race, she was certainly more conservative and not taking too much risk. Now, with the points gap down just to 9 points, I think in Vegas she's going to have to start taking risks if Maya Berg is willing to do what she's done this weekend.
Okay.
Let's listen in.
Yeah, I didn't think you were allowed to do that. I don't think you're allowed to cross the from left to right. Yeah. The blue. The white plain one. Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't see you at the start. All the time you were like in the tent.
we spin a bit?
Not much actually. I thought I had a decent start, and that was I was confused.
Me, I will spin a bit. Huh?
Yeah? No, not me. Maybe I was just too slow. I don't know. But yeah, your pace was for sure stronger. Oh my god. Yeah. You were the only one that stayed out.
Susie Wolff, Lewis Hamilton keeping an eye on everything. Of course, Susie Wolff running the F1 Academy series, and yeah, great to see her introducing various people involved, and Lewis Hamilton keeping an eye on these races. He's interested to see how they can develop, and the F1 really enjoying being involved in F1 Academy. Of course, the teams all backing various drivers, the sponsors in F1 involved as well in F1 Academy, and it's been a fascinating weekend here in Singapore. It really has, with a brilliant win for Leah Block yesterday, but today we've seen a very different story. So coming up onto the podium, Ella Lloyd taking another podium finish. That's her 5th podium finish of this season, and remember, it's still her 1st season of F1 Academy. If she's doing it next year, she could be a major championship contender. But then our 2 main championship contenders for this year, in their 2nd year of F1 Academy, there is Doriane Pan, who is still leading, but the gap now has come down to 9 points between her and the winner today, who made the move in the wet, Maja Berg, who has taken victory in the 2nd race here at Singapore from pole position, exactly as she did at Zandvoort. Celebration for the Dutch racer Maja Berg. And talking about Dutch racers, I've just had a message from Allard Kalf, who says hello to you, Gary, and he's been keeping an eye on this and saying that he doesn't think she'll get any penalty. She didn't go over the red and white stuff, the blue line, okay, so he feels that. Allard, thank you very much for your information, mate, and lovely to hear from you. And so another Dutch victory from Maja Berg, 2nd place for Doriane Pan, and Ella Lloyd, the British racer. She has got another podium to add to her stream and moved up into 3rd place in the championship. Actually, it's only the 2nd time this year that we've had a 1-2 between Pan and Berg, with Berg now 1st and Pan in 2nd. Often they're not on the podium there together, 1 and 2, but they are this time. And for Ella Lloyd to have moved up into 3rd in the championship, we therefore have the top 3 in the championship on the podium. It's great to see.
Yeah, it was a great race, and you know, just when we get to the business end of the championship, the 2 championship contenders are really up there, finishing 1 and 2, starting 1 and 2 on the grid, and it's fantastic to see that competition for these two ladies towards the end of this championship.
Yeah, I'm really going to be looking forward to that. Of course, it takes place in November, so there's another gap. The F1 Academy is a series which has 7 major events throughout the year, and often these racers will be competing in different competitions as well. But obviously F1 Academy supporting F1 is a massive event to be involved in. Let's take a look then at the full result. And the race winner, Maja Berg, from pole, but she was in 2nd for most of that race, managing to nip through towards the end. Doriane Pan finishing in 2nd place, Ella Lloyd in 3rd, ahead of Emma Felbermeyer in 4th, Alba Larsen in 5th, Nina Gaidman moving up quite well too, 6th place, Chloe Chong in 7th, Joanne Chiconte in 8th place, good result for her, Rafaela Ferreira in 9th, and Courtney Crone getting into 10th place after having a bit of a tough season. Fastest lap by Doriane Pan, that's an extra point for her of course, but out of the top 10, Chloe Chambers, Aurelia Nobles, Megan Bruce, Tina Hausman, Alicia Palmowski, Lisa Billard, Leah Block and Nicole Havreder, who crashed out. So there we are. That is the result of the event in Singapore. Gary, thank you so much. It's been great fun, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been incredible racing on both days and sets the championship up perfectly, yeah.
Well, we do hope you can join us for F1 Academy later on this year in November when the championship will be decided. Goodbye from me, Ben Edwards, from Gary. Hope to see you soon. Bye.